Well, and now here we can see what's going on. Well, well. Now let's check at the moments. It is the first time that we are our preparation has been very lame at the moment. Well, okay. Now let's check at the points. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Caesar de Santa. I am here with you. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting Almas Jacob in the topic of the points where we are discussing that artificial earthquakes as an opinion of Almas Jacob. Now let's check at the points. What is the points of Almas Jacob about artificial earthquake? Here, Almas Jacob's points about the artificial earthquake is that here in the calendar of 2026, here several earthquakes was conducting by United States Air Force as a statement of Almas Jacobs. And now, today we are discussing about the realities where we know the reality is opposite of Almas Jacob points. And now let's check it. Okay. Now here we can see today's criminals of artificial earthquake is Katerina Tikhonova. Okay. Now let's check at the points. And I think I have wasting your times. Okay, now let's check at the points. It is here YouTube Israel. Now in YouTube Israel, here we can see these points. What is the written at the points? Accordance with the source to be YouTube Israel. Here we can see in photos here 7.1 magnitude quake hits of eastern Malaysia. Okay. Now let's check at the point. In the timestamp of 6 minutes 54 seconds, Almas Jacob states that Israel would have destroyed the enemy nations by sending floods, but because their as people could not reproduce, okay, they can cause earthquake. They can only increase their intensity. Okay, they have this technology, so the both man it is both man-made and naturals. That means accordance with Almas Jacobs. Now we can see. Well, accordance with Almas Jacobs, what is the statements? The statement is that Israel and United States militaries can increase the intensity of earthquakes. They contain the technology. Hence, in 2026, both of the earthquakes are artificial and natural. And now, here is my questions. Now here we can see we get points. If Israel and Americans, particularly if America would contest the technology of artificial earthquakes, now here is my question that why Israel would be victim of the artificial earthquake? That is my questions. And now that means here artificial earthquake can be generated by Bangladeshi terrorists and under the help of the Russian scientist Katerina Tikhonova. Okay? And now here we can see. Well, now let's check at the points. In the timestamp of 7 minutes 10 seconds. So remember, they can increase the intensity of floods. Okay? Magnify, they can do this. They can increase its that wise. As soon in this year 2026 begins, they will have to turn on the weathers into many places in until 2025. That is the statement of Almas Jacob in the timestamp of 7 minutes 18 seconds. Now in 7 minutes 27 seconds timestamps, what is the statement of Almas Jacobs? And we can see they have completed their task, how they are increasing the intensity of earthquakes by the year 2026. Evidence about this is the upon that magnitude 7.4 is currently the highest magnitude of all the 7 in Colombia's, and notice that then 7.1 in Japan, inside Malaysia 7.1, inside Taga 7.1, inside Venezuela. What is this 7.1? Then after this 7 and 0.2, 7.5 coming the Venezuela. Okay, that is the points of Almas Jacob. Okay. Now, what are you doing, Baba sir? I cannot understand. Can you even read? Okay. Hmm. Now you can see these points, dear brothers, and here we can see those points. It is the transcript was just translated by Google, and here Alma Jacob states that Americans are generated artificial earthquake in 7.4 in Colombia and 7.1 in Malaysia and 7.1 in Japan. That is the statement of Almas Jacob. But here we could see the reality is the significantly opposite. Now why reality is significantly opposite? Here we can state the points. Okay, now let's check at the moments. Well, and here now I would show the now who is the current terrorist supreme leader of the Bangladeshi terrorists? That is Jamal Jia. And now let's check at the moments. Well, here I am notified the points, and here we can see here is the women's the woman's name is Katerina Tikhonova. Well, she is a Russian scientist. It is her first recognition, and the second recognition is she is the second daughter of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Okay. Now in this cases, well, now here is the today's points. What is the earthquake near to Israel? Well, here custom is magnitude would be 6. And now let's check at the 6 or 6, more than 6 magnitude. Now let's check at the points. Well, in January 11th, 2022, here was artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 6.6 near to Haifa. February 6, 2023, here is an earthquake with the magnitude of 7.8 near to Haifa, the capital city of Israel. Okay. Now, in this points, here is an February 6, 2023, artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.5, and here February 20, 2023, artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 6.3. Okay. Now let's check at the points. What's the moment and the points to be noticed? In Bangladesh, there is the times to be noted first. Well, November 26, 2021. Well, here is an artificial earthquake in Bangladesh with the magnitude of 6.2. And here, August 28, 2021, here is an artificial earthquake in Bangladesh with the magnitude of 6. Now, in these cases, now let's check it. What's happened in Russia? I mean, here is the report of Russian earthquake reports. Well, earthquakelist.org is one of the authentic earthquake website. It is not only authentic websites. It is one of the authentics. Okay. Now let's check at the points to be noticed. Now coming to the points about the momentums in these cases, here we could see February 6, 2023, here is an artificial earthquake in Russia with the magnitude of 7.8, and March 25, 2020, here is an artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.5. Okay, and now let's check at the moments. Well, now when Almas Jacob discussed about the um, artificial earthquake points, and now let's check it. Here we have roasted here Delcy Rodriguez in the several times, but now Venezuela. Okay, it is about the Venezuela. Well, now in these cases here we can see Venezuela. We have previously mentioned that Venezuela is the practice match of Russian artificial earthquake terrorist. And now in these cases, it is would here as an artificial earthquake as an practice with the magnitude of 7.4. Okay, now let's check at the points. And in this case, what is the preparation moments? What is the purpose of the preparations? Now, in these cases, in the purpose of the preparations, here would be the artificial earthquake on Haifa, the city of Israel, with the magnitude of 7.9. And now, let's check it. We have to notify the person's names, Katerina, Tikhonova. Okay. And now, here is the coming points that what's going on, and here we can see. Well, artificial earthquake magnitude would be 7.9. Hence, artificial earthquake energies would be here bracket of 10 to the power bracket of 1.5 multiplied by 7.9 double bracket close. And now here we can see what is the energy, the artificial earthquake energy would be contacts in Haifa, the city of Israel, at the command of Katerina Tikhonova. That is the points to be noticed. Here is 707 billions 945 millions 784,385 joules. As a round figure, that would be here 708 joules. I apologize, 788 billion joules. And now we can see the entire earthquake energy with the magnitude of 7.9 can be divided by words. Well, bracket of 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin as a specific heat of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the temperature of what? Here we can see with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius multiplied by the following temperatures. And now in these cases, here is the moments. Well, what's going on? That is almost 6.65 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 662 kilograms of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius with the specific heat to be what? With the specific heat to be here 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And now in these cases, here that is the practice match. Well, Venezuela is only the practice place for Katerina Tikhonova's to contact and final artificial earthquake terrorist attack on the Haifa, the city of Israel. And now here we can see in this cases here that's the moment at the points. Okay. Now here now we can see we can let's get targets. Well, and here we can notify. Well, without touching the place of the Venezuela. Now let's check is what is Russian terrorist scientist Katerina Tikhonova's travel plan to attack on the Haifa city of Israel with the artificial earthquake terrorist attack with the magnitude of 7.9. And now let's check it. What will be the previous points? And now let's check it. We can see at the moments here we can here the driving distance is 18,000 well 713 kilometers 120 meters. As a round figure, that would be 19,000 kilometers. Okay. Now in this case is the points. Okay. Now let's check the moments. Now when we are discussing about the Katerina Tikhonova, the Russian women to be Russian scientists. And now here is my question that what is women's opinions about Christianity? In this case, women's opinion about Christianity is simple. Here, women does not believe in Christianity because in Christian values, here we can see women's contains no validations in the topics of the inheritance law. That means when fathers in the Christian family, here fathers in net worth is 100 billion United States dollars. Here we come in Christian values. If there would be only two daughters but no sons, then none of two daughters can get any penny of the 100 billion United States dollars as an inheritance. According with inheritance systems of the Christian family. And in this, here is the results. There here we can see Katerina Tikhonova is always against the Christian family values. Hence, she want to conduct an artificial earthquake attacks in any countries, and she want to pay some money to Almas Jacob, since that Almas Jacob stays the every blame to United States of America. That is the plan of Katerina Tikhonova. Okay. Now let's take the points. Secondly, here is the point that why the target would be always Israel, where the purpose is artificial earthquake terrorist attacks. Now here we can see the points. Israel is the only country in the calendar of 2026 who support the value of the entire Western Christian countries. Well, Israel is a Jewish country himself, but Israel values the Christian values of England. Israel values the Christian values of United States of America, and Israel values the Christian family value of Germany. And now let's take the points. So here we can see, because of Israel, now every radical Islamic community are exposed in both of England, United States of America, and Germany. And here is the reasons that here Katerina Tikhonova want to attack on artificial earthquake on Israel with the support of Jia, the supreme leaders of Bangladeshi terrorists. And now let's check at the momentum at the points. Well, now here we can see coming to the points about the moments. Well, now when here Katerina Tikhonova's car's velocity would be here 19,000 kilometers per second, and but here driving distance is 19,000 kilometers. That means in this cases the driving timing would be 1 second. That means if we consider departure times and arrival times in the time zone of according to the time zone of Israel, Tel Aviv, the capital city of Israel. Now here we can see Katerina Tikhonova's departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, August 20, 2026. and her arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past August 20, 2026. And now here she want to conduct an artificial earthquake in where? In here the Haifa, the city of Israel, as a final attacks, where Venezuela is just an practice place. And now let's check at the moments. What's the cases in the points? Now in these moments here we could notify well now when travel time is 1 second, that what is the velocity of, what is the definition of velocity? Here the definition of velocity is they are calculating driving distance. Yes. Now when travel timing is 1 second, the definition of velocity to be 99,000 km per second is actually travel distance to be 99,000 kilometers. And now let's check this. What is the travel distance of 99,000 kilometers? That is 19 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And what is 19 square? That is 361. And what is 6 multiplied by 2? That is 12. Hence here travel distance square is, well, in this case travel distance square is 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meters square. Okay. In this cases, the half of weight of Katerina Tikhonova, the Russian scientist, half of weight of would be 1,000 kilograms. Now let's check at the points. What is the kinetic powers of Katerina Tikhonova's cars? And in this cases, here calculation is 1,000 multiplied by 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Now what is 3 sum by 12? That is 15. Well, and here you can see when travel time is 1 second, here kinetic power is kinetic energy. Hence, here we can see kinetic power is 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 in joules. That means 361 billion megawatts. Okay. And now let's check at the points. What is the in the cases of the moments? Now here final points is, well, here we know the petrol density is 0.778 kilogram per liters. On the other hand, here petrol of what would be the moments? Then specific heat of petrol would be here 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, and petrol has temperature difference is 50 degrees Celsius. And now what is 2 multiplied by 50? That is 100. Then here when the petrol is the chosen fuel by Katerina Tikhonova, the Russian scientist, to attack here artificial earthquake in Haifa, the city of Israel. Then what is the meaning of that? Here is a clarified point, and the clarification is the significantly dangerous. And in these cases, the clarification is, here we can see, well, here calculation of petrol would be 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 can be divided by bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.778. That means in this case of to be moments, the calculation to be 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 can be divided by, well, 0.778. And now in this cases the moments, well, and here we can see these points, well, now here, yes. Now in these cases, now let's check at the moments. What's the points to be noticed? Now here 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 13, that can be divided by words 0.778. And now, in these cases, well, that is almost 4.7 quadrillion liter of petrols. And now, here we can see I would contest just 2 minutes for Ajans and I would reply this. And now, let's check it the points. I think everything is complete. Well, settings. And now it is my turn to take receive an Ajans reply. Adonai hu Akbar, Adonai hu Akbar, Adonai hu Akbar, Adonai hu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Adonai, Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Adonai, Ashhadu anna Prophet Moses Rasul Adonai, Ashhadu anna Prophet Moses Rasul Adonai, Ailal Salah, Ailal Salah, Ailal Falah, Ailal Falah, Adonai hu Akbar, Adonai hu Akbar, la ilaha illa Adonai. And now, in these cases, here is the points I have mentioned. Okay. Now let's take the points. And now, what is the petrol or what is the cost of 4.7 liter petrol when 1 liter petrol costs well 2 United States dollars? That would be here, of course, here 9.4 United States dollars is the cost of 4.7 liters of petrol. And now, what is the cost of 4.7 quadrillion liters of petrol? That would be here 9.4 quadrillion United States dollars. And now, here is the points to be researched at the moment. That is the cost of petrols chosen by whom Katerina Tikhonova to conduct an artificial earthquake on Haifa, the city of Israel. And now, what was in Haifa? Well, the best university of the Middle East is Technion, located in Haifa, the city of Israel, where in accordance with 2025, here 15,000 students was studying in Haifa, the city of Israel, in the scientific research. Okay, and now here is the cases, that is the moments at the points. Well, here Katerina Tikhonova wants to attack on Haifa, the city of Israel, but here irony is that here Almas Jacob believes that America contains the technology to conduct an artificial earthquake on the different place just in the purpose to show that Jesus Christ would be coming in 2026. But now, what is the reality of the points? And reality is, everybody we know that here the distance between Earth planet and the kingdom of heaven has 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 light centuries. And here, after the resurrections in 33 AD, Jesus Christ could not cross even 2000 light years. And now, in these cases, but now still Jesus Christ, according with Almas Jacob's statements here, well, to trick with Jesus Christ, United States Air Force conducts artificial earthquake in the several points. That is a statement of Almas Jacobs. But here, in previous live stream, we have mentioned that here artificial earthquakes was possible by Bangladeshi terrorist Jaimajia, and now this point is live streams is only the focus of the capability of crime of whom Katerina Tikhonova, the Russian women to be Russian scientist. Russian women scientist to be the second daughter of Russian President Vladimir Putin. And now in these cases, well, Vladimir Putin is pro-Palestine. We know that, and even in these cases, here Vladimir Putin has been angry when, well, Ali Khamenei, the Iranian revolutionary terrorist supreme leader, has been eliminated by whom the Israeli F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 216,000 km per second. And now That is the significant threat for Vladimir Putin. Okay. Now let's check the points. Here we can see. Now here I would like to mention that what is the moments of the artificial earthquakes can be as a practice in Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. And now here we can see, I can show you. Well, now here just we have to wait and watch. Okay. Now in this cases here I contains Israel spot is blank, and here let's input on the blank, that would be here Caracas, the capital city of what? Okay. Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. And here midterms between Borisols, the city of Bangladesh, and Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. Here we can see that would be here Harare, the city of Zimbabwe. And now in this cases, well, now in this case, it is clear that here when our topic is about we can calculate is about what is the travel times of practice to arrive the practice countries, and it is the complete here. What about the completes? It is the completions of flying distance. Okay, and here we could calculate this. And now let's check at the points. Okay, now let's check at the moments, and here we can see. Well, now in these cases, here flying distance is 27,066.81 kilometers. That means it is 27,066 kilometers, 810 meters. That as a round figure, that would be here 28,000 kilometers. And now here now let's check at the points, and here I would check it in this cases. Katerina Tikhonova's, the Russian women scientist, flying velocity would be 28,000 kilometer per second. And in this cases, here we can see when if we calculate the departure times and arrival times in accordance with Venezuelan time zones, still here we could see here is the probability says, well, Katerina Tikhonova's departure time will be morning 6 o'clock, August 20, 2026, and arrival time would be, well, morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, August 20, 2026. Travel time would be 1 second, because travel velocity is 28,000 km per second, and travel distance as a flying distance would be 28,000 kilometers. Now in this cases, it is travel distance is the flying distance, I mean flying travel distance. Hence here we could discuss about the half of weight of Katerina Tikhonova, the Russian women scientist, private planes. Why Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova contains the private planes? Because Katerina Tikhonova is the second daughter of Russian President Vladimir Putin. And now that is the significant words to be noticed. And now here is the points about the moments. Well, what is 28 squares? Here is the significant points. Well, now I think here I forgot the calculations, and now I would like to calculate it. Okay. Now what is 28 square? That is 784. And what is 6 multiplied by 2? That is 12. When travel time is 1 second, here flying velocity is the calculated flying travel distance. Hence here we can see flying travel distance is 28,000 kilometers, That means 28 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And now what is the travel distance squared? When travel time is 1 second, what is the travel distance squared? That is 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter squared. And now what is half of weight of Katerina Tikhonova's private planes? When Katerina Tikhonova is a Russian women scientist, that would be here 100,000 kilograms. That means it is almost 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And now here we can see the points 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And now what is the kinetic powers of Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova's private plane's kinetic powers? And when the travel time is 1 second. Here calculation is that here 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Now what is 5 sum by 12? That is 17. Okay. And hence here we can see the kinetic power is 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 joules. That is here it is of course 78.4 trillion megawatts when the travel time is 1 second. And now in this cases, what is the points of Katerina Tikhonova's? In this cases, Katerina Tikhonova's chosen fuel is of course petrols. And now in this cases here we can see, well, what is the petrol volumes when the kinetic power is 784 trillion megawatts, guys, 78.4 trillion megawatts with the travel time to be 1 second. And here the petrol density is 0.778 kilogram per liter. Petrol specific is 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, and petrol highest temperature difference is 50 degrees Celsius, and hence that is calculation will be 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 70 can be divided by bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.778 bracket close, and hence the calculations becomes here 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 can be divided by 0.778. And now in these cases, here is the moments, well, that is the significant points. What's the matters? Now in these cases, here 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15, well, that can be divided by what? Well, 0.778. And now let's check it. We can see that once that is almost 1.01 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 liters of petrol. That as a round figure, what is the cases? That is would be here 1.01 thousand. So I have to guess that would be almost 1010 quadrillions liters of petrol. Now we can see the points when 1 liter petrol costs 2 United States dollars. Then what is 1010 liters petrol cost? That would be 2020 United States dollars. And now here is the catch, and the catch is here what is, well, the cost of 1010 quadrillions liters of petrol, that is 2020 quadrillions United States dollars. And now in these cases, there is the momentous at the points. Well, Katerina Tikhonova can travel from Moscow, the capital city of Russia, to Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela, in the practice of in the practice of artificial earthquakes. Hence, where we could see the 7.4 magnitude of earthquake is the result of the Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova's artificial earthquake practice is. Now in these cases, what is the points of Almas Jacob? The Almas Jacob points is Russia conducts an artificial earthquake in Venezuela. That is the points of Almas Jacob. And now, in these cases, there is the significant moments. Well, here, who is the supporters of Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova as a practice match? She was the points to be homes. She was the women to be here. Delcy Rodriguez, the presidents of, the supreme leaders of Venezuelan communist terrorists. Okay, and now let's take the points. Here we can see, well, Almas Jacob did not discuss that here. Russian women terrorists, well, Katerina Tikhonova can conduct an artificial earthquake attack on the progressive Kafir countries accordance with Islamic religions. That is the out of knowledge of whom? That is the out of knowledge of, well, Almas Jacob. And now let's take the points. Here we can see this is the moments. Well, now here we can see. Now let's take the discussions. Well, accordance with Almas Jacob, well, the artificial earthquake generating technology would be owned by only United States of America, accordance with, well, Almas Jacob. But you could see that yes, in yesterday live streams, here was a significant problematic we could have faces, and now let's check it. In previous live streams, we contest a 10 minutes electricity crisis in Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh. You have experienced this, but because in reality, I am living in here. A country where the national official language is Bengali language. Okay, and now here we can let's get the topics. And in these cases, Bangladeshi terrorists can conduct an artificial earthquake in Japan. Hence they conduct and support of whom? Well, Katerina Tikhonova. Okay, and now let's take the moments. Here we can see there is the points. It is the points of Venezuela. Okay, now what was the points of what is the process of artificial earthquakes of with the magnitude of 7.4 at the sub where the culprit would be Katerina Tikhonova, and that would be the practice country would be Venezuela. Now here we can see that would be the points to be noticed. Now let's check it. Here we can see now what here we have to call when we contest an artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.4. Hence, we can calculate the artificial earthquake energy where magnitude would be 7.4. And now, in these cases, here is the points, that is the significant terms. Well, and here you can see 10 to the power words bracket of 1.5 multiple by 7.4 enter time bracket close, and here we can see those points here. Artificial earthquake energy would be 125 balance 892 millions 541,179.42 joules. That means that's a round figure, that is almost 125 balance 900 million joules. Okay. Now in this cases, here we can see this points. Now let's check it. How much weight of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals would be required where well specific it would be 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, and here temperature would be 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now let's check at the points. Here is the course. And now you can see there is this the points to be noticed, and it is almost 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 662 kilograms of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius with the specific heat of 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And now in these cases, here is the calculations. In these levels of calculations to calculate here artificial earthquake magnitudes that can be easily calculated by the several madrasa students located in Chittagong, the city of Bangladesh. And now that is the points to be noticed. Here we can see, well, pro-Islamic Katerina Tikhonova is the mastermind of the artificial earthquake. Where the Japan is a practice match, Venezuela is a practice match, Colombia is a practice match, but the final match is here, Haifa, the city of Israel. And now it is the clear cut the points. Israel is a Jewish country. Russia is a pro-Islamic country. Russian women President Katerina Tikhonova is a pro-Islamic. And now Venezuela is a pro-Islamic Christian countries. And now I could not understand that what is the logic of Almas Jacob. That she states that every artificial earthquake is in the command of the United States Air Force. That is the out of the understanding. This logic is out of understanding, and it is too hard. Okay, now let's check out the points. What's going on? And in these cases, here we can see the points. Well, strongest earthquakes, 7.4 magnitudes, is in southern Philippines. It is an reports in the video of Almas Jacob. But now in the cases, here we can see the points. What is the statement of Almas Jacob in these cases? Now here we can see in the timestamp of 8 minutes. These are not just a few places. There, the Philippines also has a 7.4 magnitude, and similarly, 3 different locations in single days. Earthquake occurs in, and now in the time state of 8 minutes 8 seconds. What is the statement of Almas Jacob? Here we can see. And it was the years, or rather the last year, I am going to tell you about the Karachi, Pakistan. I am telling you it is a single day. Now here coming to the timestamp to be 8 minutes 17 seconds. 2025 concursive earthquakes were recorded of low intensity. But continuous it was. Now in 8 minutes 26 seconds, oh my cards. Now in 8 minutes 26 seconds, here is an what is the statements of Almas Jacobs? Here statements is, I have already explained the reason for that, but remember, he can not cause any kinds of loss on his ones. In the timestamp of 8 minutes 33 seconds, he cannot create it because if he could, he would have a flood and killed all his enemies. But it is not the case. Now let's check this in 8 minutes 41 seconds. So what do we know from this? This is tell us that it is the time near Jesus Christ told us that it is the wood to be great unhavels in the version places. Okay. Now in this cases here we can see. Now here we can say the points. Now in this cases we can see here Almas Jacob states what is the statement of Almas Jacob? The Almas Jacob statement is here in several places contains here the earthquake with the magnitude of 7 increments, that is clear that Jesus Christ is on the second returns. This is the statement of Almas Jacob. But now here we am. It does not matter if we are American Christian, if we are British Christian, if we are Israeli Christian, or if we are German Christians. Every progressive Christian knows that there is a distance between earth and the kingdom of heaven is 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now when Jesus Christ would cross the borders of our Milky Way, yes, now in these cases, in earth that would be here, billions years has been passed. But according with Almas Jacobs, in 2026, the several places with the earthquake with a magnitude of 7 increments states that Jesus Christ's second return is near. When reality is, after resurrection at 33 AD, Jesus Christ could not cross 2000 light years. When Jesus Christ is the Son of God. That means here Almas Jacob is a real bully on our Christian communities. Okay. Now here we can see the points. Now in today's times, here is the significant moments. We have discussed here artificial earthquake can be possible by whom? Here artificial earthquake can be possible by here Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova to be the supreme leaders of Russian terrorists. Now we can see these points. Well, Father Vladimir Putin is the Russian president, but second daughter Katerina Tikhonova to be Russian women scientist is the supreme leader of Russian terrorists. I mean Russian pro-Islamic terrorist, communist terrorist. And now in these cases here is the moments. Well, now here we can see those points. Well, now in this times, Israel is a protector of the Western Christian values. Hence, here is the moments. Russian Tikhonova practice here artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 7.4 only in the purpose here next at the plan of artificial earthquake with the magnitude of 8.5 would be in Haifa, the city of Israel, and that is the plans of Katerina Tikhonova. Okay, now we can see the points. Now let's check at the points to be noticed. How is it possible? And here we can state that, but now we have to state how it could be impossible. Okay. Well, now here we can see Haifa, the city of Israel, as the final destination. Okay. Now in this cases here we can see. Well. Now in these moments, here we could notify the points to be noticed, and now that is the clear-cut points. Okay, now in these cases, here second place of Russia is removed. Okay, now it would be here 30. Now what is the flying distance? The flying distance is 35,164 kilometers, 560 meters. As a round figure, that is 36 thousand kilometers. Okay. Now in these cases here we can see, well, now where here we can see, let's assume the Katerina Tikhonova's velocity would be 36,000 kilometer per second. And now in this cases, what is the travel time? Travel time would be 1 second, because the travel distance is also 36,000 kilometers. But now, and here we can see the points. Well, middle route is would be here. What is the middle route? Middle route would be Borisal, the city of Bangladesh; Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe; well, Caracas, the capital city of what? Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. Departure is the Moscow, the capital city of Russia, and arrival is Haifa, the city of Israel. And now, what is the purpose? The purpose is to conduct artificial earthquake terrorist attacks. And who is owning the purpose? The person was Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova. And now, in these cases, here is the momentums, that what is the velocities at the moments. Now, velocities as departure time is morning 6 o'clock, August 20, 2026, and arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, August 20, 2026. Okay, and now in these cases, now here velocities has been discussed and travel time has been discussed, but now let's take about the kinetic energies. But here is the problems. The previously kinetic energy was calculated as a method of Isaac Newton, Englander Christians Isaac Newton's kinetic energies. But now methods. But now when the velocity is 36,000 kilometers per second, and here kinetic energy method is German Jewish scientist Albert Einstein's kinetic force method. Okay. And now in this case here what is we have to calculate the value of lambda subtract by 1. And now in this cases here we can see, now let me check at the points. Well, and now come body, let's go body. And now here we can see what is the meaning of 36,000 kilometer per second, where the velocity of light is 300,000 kilometer per second as the velocity of light. Well, now that would be here 12% of the it is of course here 12% of velocity of light. And now in this cases here we can see what is 0.12 square, that is here 0.0144. Okay. And now let's check at the moment. So here we can see the complete weight of Katerina Tikhonova's private plane is 200,000 kilograms. That means 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And in this cases here, what is the velocity of light square? That is 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 16 meter square per second square. Hence, what is the calculations of kinetic energy? I mean, what is the calculation of statistic energy of Katerina Tikhonova's Russian private planes? That would be here 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 16. And now what is 16 sum by 5? That is 21. And what is 2 multiplied by 9? That is 18. Hence the kinetic energy, I apologize, that hence the statistic energy is 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 1 joules as the statistic energy of Katerina Tikhonova's private plans statistic analysis. And now let's check at the points. What is the value of lambda sustained by I wants? But first of all, in these cases, here we have to calculate the points to be noticed. Well, and here one. I mean, what is the value of lambda? That your calculation is 1 divided by bracket of square root of bracket of 1 subtract by 0.0144 enter times bracket close. And now let's check at the moments. In this case, the value of lambda is 1.00727871. And now let's check what is the this is the value of lambda. Now what is of the value of lambda subtract by 1s? That would be here the points to be noticed. That is here 0.00727871. And that is the meaning of that here 7.27871 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3 is here value of kinetic force. And now let's check at the moments. In this case here we can see what is the calculations of kinetic force of Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova's private planes. That would be here 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 multiplied by 7.27871 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3. And now here is the points to be noticed. What is the here 21 subtract by 3? That is 18. And here we can see. Now what is the calculations begins? That would be 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 enter multiplied by 7.27871. And now let's when the travel time is 1 second, it is both of here kinetic force and kinetic energies. And here let's check it 18 multiplied by 10 to the power 18. That can be multiplied by what? 7.27871. And now here what is the result of that? That is almost 131.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 joules. That would be here what is the cost? That would be here almost 131.1 trillion megawatts as the kinetic force when travel time is 1 second. And now in this case here we can see that is the moments to be noticed. Well, here chosen by Katerina Tikhonova is the petrols. And now in this case what is the calculations? That would be here 131.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 joule can be divided by bracket of 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin multiplied by 50 degrees Celsius multiplied by 0.778 kilogram per liters as a petrol volumes calculations. And now once calculation begins, that is 131.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 16 can be divided by here 0.778. And now in this cases here we can see that is the significant points. Here we can see notifiers. Well, and in this cases here 131.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 16 that can be here divided by words. Here that can be divided by 0.778. Okay. And now in these cases here we can notify. Well, that's as a points to be noticed. It is almost 1.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 liters of petrols. That is 1.7 quadrillions liters of petrols. I apologize. It is one possible multiple by 10 to the power 18 is 1700 quadrillions liters of petrol. That means your cost would be here, cost on the petrol would be 3400 quadrillions United States dollars. And that would be the cases at the moment. And now we can see here is the points that would be the significant probabilities. And now here we can see here I have mentions here travel times of travel journey of Katerina Tikhonova from Moscow to Israel, where middle route is here Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. But now here is the points, and here the points to be mentioned is that what would be the artificial earthquakes energy where magnitude would be 8.6 according to the plan of anti-Christian anti-Christianity Russian women scientist Katerina Tikhonova's plans to contain an artificial earthquake with on the Haifa, the city of Israel. Here we can see here plans to be noticed here. Let's check out what would be the energies. And in these cases, well, now if we contest an electricity crisis in my house to be the city of Bengal speaking country, hence I would off the live streams. And here you can see bracket of 10 to the power bracket of 1.5 multiplied by 8.6 2 times bracket close. And now in these cases that can be divided by artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the specific heat of 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin with the temperature to be what 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now let's check at the moments. Here we can see these points. Well, it is almost worse. It is almost here 7.5 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 661 kilograms of artificial earthquake nuclear chemicals with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius with the here we can specific heat to be 16,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. Now this level of artificial earthquake chemicals, nuclear chemicals can be generated under the Russian nuclear electricity power plants, where Russia is proper Islamic Christian countries. I mean, here Russia always is pro-Palestine and Russia is always anti-Israel. And now in these cases, what is the birth country of Jesus Christ, the Son of God? That is Israel. And now in these cases, the points here we can see, pro-Palestine, Russia can contact the artificial earthquake on Haifa, the city of Israel. Then what is the logic of Almas Jacob's statement, where Almas Jacob states that United States has provided an artificial earthquake technologies, but Jesus Christ would remove the United States technologies. That is the promise of Almas Jacob. And now, where is the logic? Here, logic is unmatched with Almas Jacob's statements. And now, in these cases, here is the points to be noticed. Secondly, it is commonly points here Jesus Christ did not cross 2000 light years. But according with Luke Bible, Surah 21, Ayat 11, it is clearly states here, once Jesus Christ's second return from heavens, there would be earthquake in different places. But now, who is the Jesus Christ to be second returns accordance with Almas Jacob? That is the question. And we Christian wants to get an information that who is the Jesus Christ of the second returns accordance with Almas Jacobs. That is my significant questions. Because here Almas Jacobs, every prediction has been incorrect. Now recently we are discussing about the Nipah virus. In accordance with Nipah virus as a discussions, it was clear that Almas Jacobs' prediction of on the ICC World Cup, ICC T20 World Cup 2026 in India has been 100% false. Well, Almas Jacob does not contain any basic knowledge of the solar system connected with Earth. Now, in this case, now in 2022, Almas Jacob want to see star away that was 50,000 light years away from our moon satellites. Almas Jacob want to see the star on the night sky with the camera of 36 pixel photo cameras. And now here that is the reason that who is what is the logic of Almas Jacobs? Almas Jacobs' logic is illogical. And now in this cases, now here is a sister channel name to be Jesus Christ state a question that why I am against Almas Jacob. But recently here Almas Jacob contains an illogical geopolitical points on the artificial earthquakes, where artificial earthquake can be generated by Sheikh, artificial earthquake can be generated by Jia, and artificial earthquake can be generated by Delcy Rodriguez, and artificial earthquake can be generated by pro-Palestine Katerina Tikhonova. But according with the statement of Almas Jacob, every times of artificial earthquake culprit us is pro-Israel United States Air Force. Now, where is the logic in geopolitics? That is my question. Okay. Now here you can see the points. Here and here is an outro. The outro is we would not provide heads on Almas. We would not provide heads on any persons except the toxic feminist and the Almas Jacob and the Islamic scholars. Because in these cases, here is the significant points. Almas Jacob is against the Christian value, and that is the significant threats to be notified. Okay.